Beat them senseless.
You and me and you, we gonna throw down. That's right, we gonna get serious.
You can run, but you can't hide.
It's time for the Fuller Broadcast with your host, Jeff Fuller.
Welcome to the Fuller Broadcast Mania 24/7. I do a lot of interviews with fighters from MMA, UFC, Latoro, bare knuckle, MMA fighters, anywhere in the world. They come on my show to talk about their careers, their training, and where they're at in 2024. So I want to give my shout outs to all my sponsors. D&D Baits, custom baits, great quality baits for your fishing needs today. Make sure you guys go check them out. Give them a like and a follow. Cafecito Banquet, they're local sponsors here. They make these beautiful cups right here. You might not be able to see it, but it's Red Bull cups. They make all kinds. They can do your graphics for like your family, any kind of pictures from cartoons or whatnot, what you like on there. And also Twitches, Stitches, Witches is locally in Illinois with my co-host Zachary. He'll give a little bit more details with that later on once he gets a chance. And finally, Churrolicious Arizona Food Truck here locally in Arizona. If you got the sweet tooth, go check them out every Friday night at the Neon Sign Park here in Castle Grand. They're locally in Eloy, Coolidge, wherever you're at. I'm sure the guest I bring on here, he probably knows that truck. And Just Blaze. Make sure you get Just Blaze today. Go to their Just Blaze clothing company. Check out their shirts. Be the first one on your block to get Just Blaze. And now I'm going to bring on MMA pro fighter Robertson on my show to talk about his career and everything that has been going through. Welcome to our show, buddy. How you doing today?
Just fine, buddy. It's Michael Robertson, Ertson.
Yeah, I had a little problem pronouncing that middle one. Sorry about that.
El Enterrador. That means the grave digger in Spanish. That'd be my nickname when I go into the cage.
Ooh, I like that. That's a nice fighting name. So how's your day been going so far?
Been long, dude. I got up at like 6 o'clock this morning. Had to be at work by 7:30, and didn't get off till about 6, 7. And now I'm home to relax, enjoy a little bit of smoke.
Are you enjoying the UFC fights nights while you're doing our interview?
You know what? I have this smart TV, and ESPN always freezes. So I only do the pay-per-views, and sorry guys, I don't really pay for them. I pirate them because the pay-per-view won't play on the damn TV. It'll like freeze halfway through as soon as they get to the most exciting part of the fight, it's gonna freeze on you. So when I go on to like the internet browser on the TV, then I'm able to just pull it up on like a crack stream, and it's always a better feed.
I know how that is living right next to you. I'm in Eloy, so the reception, the internet out here is so bad. So, all right. So, first question of the night is: what gym do you represent, and who are the coaches that help you during your training and stuff?
Okay, so I'm currently training at Ultimate Combat Training Center in Mesa, Arizona. The coaches that are like my head coaches and the guys I'm training with are going to be Javier Torres. He also fought in the UFC. I believe he did Tough House when I don't know. I think it was Junior Dos Santos was coach. I can't give you the exact UFC Ultimate. What was it? The Tough House, like which number it was, but. He fought in Tough. He's Javier Chunty Boy Torres, and then I have Tom Ortiz. He's a wrestling coach. He used to coach Cain Velasquez. Then we got Efrain Escudero. He helps coach MMA and wrestling as well. And then we got a couple other guys who come in and help out. But I don't know everybody's last name, so I'm not going to just throw them all out there.
So during the years that you've been training, and I've known you've been fighting for a long time and training. How many years you've been training, and what experience do you have, like jiu-jitsu, wrestling, kickboxing, Muay Thai? Sorry.
So I guess you could say it all started with wrestling in junior high and high school. And then after that I did some semi-professional football. And then I started doing some like tough man smoker competitions in Arizona. I did like the bad boy fights competition, and then they had a tournament of champions. I won both of those tournaments. And then I moved to Mexico, and I think I started fighting professional martial arts in like 2005, maybe 2008. I don't know the exact year, I'll be honest with you.
So, with all the experience you have with fighting and fighting in the MMA, kickboxing, whatever, what was it like coming from? I've heard you explain to me that you were living in Mexico, fighting out from Mexico. What was it like from the training from here and coming to the U.S. based training with all the athletes out here?
Okay, so originally I was training with Stoneheart Boxing. They had a gym in Chandler, Arizona, and I was just doing boxing coming out of high school. I was like 19 years old. Just needed something to do to keep me out of the streets. And Coach Damian Stone, he's also a doctor. He always allowed me to train with them for free. I would help out with the coaching of the kids and sparring or anything that I needed to help out with. But in return, he would give me free training. So I started doing boxing, and I was training with all the professionals. I hadn't even had any amateur fights or anything at the time. And so by the time I did go in and do my amateur fights, I'd already been training with all the pros for 4 or 5 years or something. And um, after after boxing, before I started MMA, I actually moved to Mexico. And when I was in Mexico, I had went to Cancun on vacation. I was riding a bus around exploring the town, and I found a gym called Kundo Lama. It's a shoot fighting gym, and they do MMA, if you will, boxing, jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, and kind of like just mix it all up for you. And that was actually my first real MMA training is when I started attending that gym. Um, yeah.
So, all that training, you feel like with the
Oh, but
training you have, and I've noticed you, okay,
I
go
didn't
ahead.
answer your question. Sorry, I got kind of sidetracked. So that was my first MMA training. I started my MMA career over there. I had lots of fights, and then I got like 10-1 or 10-2 or something, and I just wanted to start elevating myself. I had already been the champion of Extreme Combat Mexico at 205. Um, I've been the champion of Extreme Fight Mexico at 185. And so I decided to come out here to Arizona and start training here in Arizona. And that was at the MMA lab. Um, Now the difference between the training out there and the training out here, going from like a gym that's like really traditional martial arts gym, you got to wear uniforms and stuff like that, and then coming into the MMA lab, it was I'll be honest, I kind of felt more at home because in the MMA lab, it wasn't such heavy structure for the fight team. You kind of come in, they show you what you're going to do, you pair up, and you get to it. And it's the grind at the MMA lab is really like, it reminds me of being in the wrestling room back in high school. So I just fit right at home, and the training, I'll say it's higher level in that it's geared for MMA. It's geared for the cage. It's geared for what you're doing. Whereas when I started my career, I guess you could say Um, all I had was wrestling from high school, some traditional boxing, and then the Kunda Lama shoot fighting, which is when I first started learning how to throw kicks, check kicks, and stuff like that.
How we doing?
Jeff?
Jeff,
Go ahead, Zachary.
how we doing, fellas? Sorry I come in a little bit late, but I got a little bit of going on over here at the house. I just I wanted to pop in and say hi and thank you for your time. And we appreciate you coming on and letting Jeff interview you. I'm kind of AFK. I've been recovering from being sick here lately, but I'm still here supporting the show and everything, and I appreciate your time, sir. I just wanted to tell you that. I just wanted to pop in. Thank you.
So, what your last fight? What was your last fight, and how did that fight go?
My last fight was against Raymond Pena in Combate Americas in Tucson, Arizona. I think it was 2019, right before COVID hit. I lost that fight in the third round by rear naked choke. He wrestled me the whole entire fight, which is great. I couldn't really fight off his wrestling. He's a great wrestler. He's also a coach of Sunnyside or Sunny Slope wrestling team in Tucson, Arizona. He's a state wrestler out here. Yeah, so I lost that fight. But I didn't lose like bad, I guess. A loss is a loss. I got choked out. I had to tap. So, right after that, I was supposed to fight Luis Huicho Castañeda from Mexico City. He's a Muay Thai fighter. And then COVID hit. And then after COVID hit, I got injured. And like my back, I herniated a disc in my back. And it's been a long 3.5 year recovery from that. I just barely started training again. Hoping to fight by the end of the year, hopefully.
So I know what it's like having a back injury. I got injured back in 2008, and I'm still not healed from my back injury. I had multiple surgeries on my back, so I know what it's like to recover from those back surgeries.
Me too.
So once you get your recovery done, you plan on getting back in the octagon cage anytime soon?
I'm there. Over the last 3 months, I've lost 35 pounds. I'm in the gym every day with Javier Torres. One of our training partners would be Waldo Acosta Cortez from the UFC. There's a couple other guys in the gym with us. But yeah, I'm in the gym every day. I'm getting into shape. I want to fight, and I want to do the Jiu-Jitsu World League tournament coming up in March. And then hopefully I'll be at the weight that I'd like to be at in June, and I'll start looking for a fight maybe like for June, July, August, September, or October. 185 probably.
So you feel like being injured back in 2019 when the COVID? I've noticed a lot of fighters have like from that when the COVID hit, they've lost either their fighting career felt like, COVID hit. I don't want to do this anymore. And I've seen fighters actually keep training until something came up. So with your injury and COVID hitting and getting all that training, trying to get back in shape, and how you feel right now from the 2019 to now?
Well, I feel 100% better. I herniated a disc in my lower back, and I was unable to walk. I was unable to sit. I had to be I was confined to my belly because laying on my back was painful. So it was very bad. I ended up having to get a surgery on my back. And from the second they did the surgery from before the surgery to the second the surgery was after the surgery was done, it was 100% difference. I can walk now. I can run, jump, sit. I'm back. I'm back. So, and this time I want to do it right. I don't just like before. I had a habit of just training for fights, but now I'm training every day, and I don't have a fight. And then I'm trying to get into shape. And once I'm actually in shape, then I'll take a fight camp, and it'll be improving on the things that I already have versus trying to get in shape so I can fight, if that makes sense.
It does. It makes a lot of sense. And I wish I could still go back to training, get back in shape. But I'm 50, almost 51 years old. So I mean, age doesn't matter. But my back's. It feels great that you, after your back injury, that you're getting much better. You're 100%. And I've seen a lot of fighters that never came back from their injuries from either back surgery or any type of injury in their back. It's hard for them to come back. And it looks like you proved everybody wrong. With having a back injury, you could come back, but it could take you, a few years to get where you need to be at.
It's been a long 3.5 years. And there were some dark moments, some very dark moments. But I don't know. It's like a dream. Now that I'm better, it's like it was just a dream. It was a bad dream, So I'm getting into good shape, spending a lot of time with my kids, and even more time at work. And yeah, I don't know.
So what's your training like? Your training partners that you're training with right now, are they giving you 1,000% to make you better than what you were before?
Currently, we're working on controlling ourselves. For example, let me give you a perfect example. Waldo, he has an on and an off switch. There is no like half power, medium power, like slow it down, go 30%. It's either on or it's off for the man. So what we've been working a lot on is controlling our power and just working on technique and stuff like that so that we're not hurting each other. But 100%, my current training partners, I'm not at the MMA lab, so I'm not with all those guys right now. But we still got Effie, we got Javi, we got Waldo, we got John McDessie, and then we got a nice stable of amateur fighters as well. So, yeah, I got a lot of bodies to pick from. I'm probably like in the middle as far as size goes, 6 foot, 200 pounds.
Yeah. I've seen most of you guys out there. You got to give me the address where you go at so I come out there and stop by and see you guys sometimes.
Absolutely.
So your training routine, is it a lot different than what it used to be, or is it the same? Like, even though with your back injury, do you keep it normally the same, or do you have to up it like you were just talking about with Watto? I gotta come see Watto sometime.
Prior, I was training full time. I wasn't working. It was 4 to 6 hours in the gym, whether I'm running, lifting weights, doing boxing, doing jiu-jitsu, wrestling, and or just watching film and studying. I was in the gym 4 or 5 hours, 6 hours a day. Currently, I'm not doing that. I'm working full time in the cannabis industry, so I'm really busy with that. But in the gym 3 days a week, and I train probably about 3 to 4 hours a day. In those days, I do a little bit of striking. It changes by day. On like Mondays and Wednesdays, it's Mondays is striking, Tuesdays is striking wrestling, Wednesdays wrestling, Thursdays like big glove and shin guards, and then Friday I don't think we have team practice, but Saturday we do sparring. Wednesdays and Saturdays we do sparring. So yeah, I mean it's pretty much all the same. It's just Depends on how I'm feeling during the week. If I feel like I'm motivated to work on my stand-up, then I can gear the classes outside of the MMA and competition class, like MMA and competition training. I would gear my other training towards that. So sometimes I'll get in and I'll just spar all the amateurs, or I'll train with all the amateurs in Muay Thai and kickboxing. Sometimes boxing only. It just really depends on how I feel right now, because I'm not training for a fight. It's just about training. As long as I'm in there 3-4 days a week, I'm getting in my cardio, and I'm helping out the guys who are training for a fight. That's what matters.
That's good. So wait till you get ready to start training for a fight. You're gonna be like full camp, and that's really gonna it's gonna get you, because you haven't trained that full camp yet for the fight. So it's gonna.
I'm excited for it. I'm really excited for it. I don't think that my cardio is quite there yet. That's why I want to wait until June, July, because I want to give myself a chance to get into really good shape. I want to go down to the lab and spar with some of the guys at the lab. Jared's over there. We got like Marcus McGee, a couple of their older guys that have been there forever. Mario Bautista, just a couple of those guys. Go down there and get it in with them, and I'll do that on Saturdays. I'll spar with my guys on Wednesdays and get some of that high level action in there.
That's good. That's good. You're keeping your body in shape. Just keep where you need to be when you get ready to get that fight camp, get ready to get back into it. So, well, who's your favorite fighter? It could be MMA, kickboxing, boxing. It could be.
Okay, so we're going to put this into categories. My favorite fighter of all time is probably Rampage. Not because he was the best, not because he was the worst, but because his style is what I feel like my style is. He's like a boxing wrestler, and we have a similar personality, but he's just the funniest guy of all time. He is so freaking hilarious. So yeah, I love Rampage Jackson. But my favorite fighter today happens to be one of my best friends. His name is Marcus McGee. He's brand new in the UFC. He's I think he's 3-0 or 4-0 in the UFC. Don't quote me on either of those, because I'm not sure which one it is. But we trained together at the lab, and then we haven't trained together in like 3 years. But when we trained together at the lab, then we worked together in the cannabis industry, and we've just maintained our friendship since then. And I got to watch him fight as an amateur, watch him fight his first pro fights, and now he's into the UFC and he's kicking ass and taking names. So I'm definitely one of his cheerleaders. I'm in his corner. And here pretty soon, I'm going to be going back over to the gym over there to see if I can't punch him in the face a couple times too.
Oh, wow. I hope he watches this. He's going to be waiting for that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He's definitely waiting for
it. So let me ask you this. You might not have an answer for this one. So if you were ever to get back in just a MMA in the cage, octagon, bare knuckle.
If
you had a fighter, do what?
When I get back in the cage.
Yeah, when you get back in the cage, who would you call out and why?
I'm going to use Huicho Castañeda as my warm-up fight, because I was set to fight him on. It's going to be the 24th, or no, maybe it was the 19th of March of 2019, and COVID hit on the 15th type of thing. And so our fight was canceled. But the reason I want to fight him is because we had a Sambo. We were in a Sambo tournament together, and I lost that bout against him on a stupid mistake of my own, and I know that I'm better than that, so I want to go back out there, whoop his ass, and then after that, because that'll probably be in Mexico, depending on what opportunities are available, I want to try to go after a 170-pound title in Mexico. I've already had 205, 185, 170 would make me like triple champ from Mexico, so I want to do that, and then maybe do like a PFL or one of these fight, not quite UFC or Bellator, but one of the minor league, major league professional organizations out here in the U.S.
So I've got a question for you over here. It comes from left field. What would you say was your toughest fight that you ever had?
Toughest fight I ever had was probably Enrique Barbie Ferreira in Mexico. We fought in Extreme Fight Mexico, and then we fought again in Brute Force MMA cage fights in Cancun. First one was in Campeche, the second one was in Cancun. The reason he was the toughest fight I ever had was because I felt like I was fighting myself. I'd throw a kick, he'd block it. He'd throw a kick, I'd block it. If I took him down, he'd reverse it. If he took me down, I'd reverse it. It was just like a really big tit for tat, at least for the first round and a half. And then after that, my cardio and my aggression took over and I won the fights. But both of those were decision victories. If you look at my record, I've only got like 3 or 4 fights that went to decision. Everything else was either a win or a loss by knockout or tap out. And my record online, it's like 7-6. That is incorrect. I've got 32 fights that I've been paid for professionally in Mexico and America. And I've lost 11, not 7. And I've won the rest. So, yeah.
I know what you mean by that because I, like several other fighters that I know, if you look up their record, it doesn't show a lot of the fights that you could find online even.
Exactly.
I mean, you could literally go and send them into the state and be like, this happened on this day. This is what happened. I have the video. And they'll be like, I don't give a fuck. I didn't sanction that.
Right. And that's what happened.
I literally had them tell me that. The same thing, exactly what you're saying. Yes.
Events. So my true record is 32-11.
Yeah, because I mean, I had almost 100 amateur fights, man, and I know exactly what you're saying because like they also consider the dark age fights back, whenever we fought when you could show up to a state fair and just beat a couple fucking bums up because you know what you was doing. They don't count that shit no more neither. Like
Well,
even if it was,
they're supposed to count fights that you get paid for once you've been paid cash money. That makes you professional, but. It's kind of good that they don't anymore because that means that people can go out there and they can get some true amateur experience in unsanctioned bouts and shit like that, and then come back and fight as a professional at 0-0 and really work on themselves before they hit that.
That's true. Because I mean, like you could go and for instance, you could get into one of these reputable organizations, depending on what country you're from and where you're from. You could get into something like Street Beefs, or you could get into Strelka, which is over in Russia, or something like that is a big name that's going to get you somewhere where somebody's going to be like, oh, fuck, did you see that guy kick him in the head? Did you see that guy throw that spinning hammer fist? Did you see that guy throw that spinning hook?
In my last fight in Mexico, I fought in Isla Mujeres for Extreme Fight Mexico. It was their regional championship at 170. After that bout, that was against Woody Chavez. I don't know his first name, but after that bout, Dave Feldman himself walked up to me and offered me a fight at BKFC. I didn't know who Feldman was. And as a matter of fact, I didn't remember it that this happened. One of my best friends came to me. He's like, Mike, you should contact BKFC. Those guys offered you a fight and you turned them down. I turned them down because one, they were nobody at the time, but two, you see this face? I don't have any fucking scars. I'm not fucked up and I don't want to be. So I think my comment to him was, hey, bro, how pretty my face is. I want to keep it that way. And I turned him down. I wish I would have never done that. I wish I would have jumped in BKFC. because get that fight.
If you had
Sorry,
one more off topic
out there.
question, sorry. If you had the opportunity to call out someone in your division in the BKFC right now, and you could show up tomorrow and fight, and 2 or 3 fights later you get a title fight, would you do that?
What does Mike Perry weigh?
Mike Perry will fight you. He doesn't give a shit. Mike Perry walks around at like 190, I think, 185. 190.
Fight Mike Perry at 185.
That'd be a good fight. You know what I would really like to see? I'd like to see Mike Perry versus Lorenzo Hunt for the 185 strap.
Isn't Lorenzo Hunt big as fuck? He walks around like 230.
No, Lorenzo Hunt walks around like 215, I think, 220.
Yeah,
I don't see that fight.
yeah, that's about right. Yeah, he just fought 205 a few months ago. I believe.
And I'm not saying anything bad about Lorenzo or anything, but he's talking about he wants to go up to heavyweight. And I think that what he thinks is he's going to be fast enough to get in there and get in and out. But what I'm saying is he's not got the same ass to take that punch that a heavyweight has when they're cutting down from 315 pounds to make 265 versus you who walks around at 218 and you ate a couple of extra fucking bowls of Wheaties and now you weigh 222, 226, and they're like, okay, you're too big for light heavyweight, and then you're going to fight some panic.
If you're in the 220, 230 range, you can take anybody out. So, yeah, I think Lorenzo Hunt can move up to heavyweight. Do I think that Lorenzo Hunt has any business fighting Mike Perry at 185, 170, any of them weight? No, he's way too big. So stay up there with your big guys. Quit trying to pick on the little guys. And, yeah.
But, I mean, I walk around 200 pounds. I fight 155.
That's just because you're fat and out of shape.
No, I'm not.
200 pounds fighting at 155.
I got abs.
I walk when I'm training and getting ready for fights and constantly fighting. I'm walking.
I got abs, bro. I'm 200 pounds, 204.
I'm walking 155 and I'll fight at 170. There's no way I could get down to 155. The frame is just too big, and
my legs retain a lot of the weight. My legs retain a lot of water for some reason. Whenever I'm off, whenever I'm off of fight camp, my legs will gain 18 pounds. But my legs are what drives me though. Whenever I do MMA fighting, like I'm a kickboxer, so if I kick you, you don't want to kick by a person who's squatting and leg pressing and doing that shit all the time because they're really strong with their legs. And
how tall are you?
5'10".
Okay, yeah, you're about the same height as same size as Ping.
Yeah, and I cut down that weight because I got long arms, so I mean I carry it and I don't look like if I stepped up on the scale at 205, which would be me going in the kitchen and eating something right now, and then you put somebody like Lorenzo on the scale at 205, he's going to look like a fucking balloon compared to me.
He comes down like 230, 240, though. There's no way that guy walks it at 210, 215. The guy's big.
Well, see, I don't know. I think he's somewhere around there because if you look at him whenever he's not in fight camp with the guys who he's training and doing these things with, if you watch any of the videos that he posts or anything, he's relatively the same size as those guys that are 205 to 215. But I mean, don't get me wrong, he's more defined, but we all know muscle weighs more than fat. And even if you are smaller, just a little bit smaller with that more muscle, you're going to weigh just as much as that little bit bigger guy, So, I mean, I see where you could think he would be 225, 230, maybe even 240. But if you put him in there with a guy who's, Ben Rothwell size, who's cutting down.
I'm comparing him to myself, bro, because I can look in the mirror and see myself, and Lorenzo Hunt's way bigger than I am. Way bigger.
Right. So let me ask you this. So if BKFC David Feldman called you and offered you to fight at 185 against Perry, would you accept it?
Oh yeah. I'm gonna take that fight. I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna give it my all to try and take Perry's head off. I might have to punch him in the throat or something to take the wind out of him. But Yeah, I'm going there.
Eagle?
It's gonna be derby fighting. Either I'm gonna get knocked out or I'm taking Mike Perry out. And
You know what I always thought about? Punch with the knuckles, because if you hit him with your knuckles and you hit him in the eye, or so, that shit's blowing up.
you see my hand? That is as straight and open as I can get it. I cannot open it anymore. That I can't get
A
to.
boxing glove.
Yeah, my hand is half closed. This finger doesn't close any more than that. Doesn't open any more than that. That
You
finger,
broke it, didn't you?
that finger don't close or open either.
You broke the shit out of it, didn't you?
Oh shit.
Oh, the index finger, I stabbed it with a X-Acto knife, and then 2 weeks later, the tendon broke.
Oh,
The pinky finger,
shit.
I had someone in a headlock, and then they broke. They didn't break it. They dislocated it. They turned it
twisted
sideways.
it.
Yeah,
Bastard.
and
Oh,
surgeon said he could fix it by putting a pin in it, and it didn't work. So now it's got to be permanently.
they said that about this hand too. But look at this. Your hand don't supposed to do that, dog. It's all a metal plate in here from where I boxers fractured it. My left hand is like, I would say probably 3 centimeters, 4 centimeters bigger than my right hand.
Swollen.
Simply because I broke it years ago, and they had to put that plate in there. And then whenever your hand's still the same size, it's got, it's going to expand somewhere. And it made it, like, if you look at it, you can definitely see that this hand right here is bigger. It is a noticeable amount bigger, even on camera. So like, I feel like, and the thing is I have no feeling in that hand. So like, I can keep punching and break dog shit out of whatever. I don't know. It don't give, because it's metal balls right here that I got in my hand, and then I got a steel plate right here. So like, when I hit, I don't know. It hurts my wrist. I can hit so hard that it hurts my wrist, if that makes sense. Like, I don't feel it necessarily in my hands at all, but if I hit something hard as hell, I can feel it in my wrist or my elbow, because I punched it that hard. Like, I don't know. It's weird. It doesn't register in my hand anymore. Something to do with the sensory nerves, but
So
damage is pretty
we're
bad.
gonna have to share this with that short video about Mike Perry. We gotta get Mike Perry to get interested in fighting him at 185. I'm freaking serious.
The real thing is Mike Perry has a name and I'm nobody. So in order for me to fight Mike Perry, I'd have to do something extravagant or have 1 million followers so that I could create the wave to make the money. You know what I'm saying? Mike Perry's got a name, so fights.
Go punch some old guy at a bar and say some racist ass shit, and I think you got it.
That's just not me. but that would be cool. You guys asked about a dream fight, like, obviously go for the biggest name on the fucking market.
Yeah.
Yep.
One more question.
So,
do you feel like Conor McGregor versus Mike Perry? What do you think? BKFC rules? Who do you think would take that?
Mike Perry.
I agree. How about you, Jeff?
Yep. I also agree. So
that's a unanimous decision for Mike Perry.
Let's talk about Hunt real quick. I used to love Hunt, his attitude. Before, he used to respect a lot of people. And all of a sudden, since he won that title, Mike, we'll talk about Hunt. When yeah. So at the beginning, he was a cool guy, respected everybody. Then when he won that title, everything changed for him. It's like that disrespect he's got, the games he plays at the conferences and shit. It's like somebody needs to knock him out.
Well,
try it.
A comparison to what you're talking about would be Kobe Covington.
Yes.
When he was, the stand-up American kid, and then all of a sudden he's a fucking piece of shit.
Yes.
But you know, it's just the persona that he has to play to make that bag, bro. So I'm not hating on Lorenzo Hunt. I'm not hating on Colby Covington. But in my personal opinion, I do believe there is a line. And it's, are you willing to cross it and be that bad guy?
Yeah.
That's personal
I
decision
agree.
of each person.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
with that being said, I don't feel like I could create enough hype because I'm not willing to go to the extreme. I am who I am, and that's who I want to be. And I don't want to go ahead and I don't want to change that so that I can be on TV. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can dig that. Originality for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yep. So we're getting towards the end of the show. So talk a little bit more about your sponsors and all the support that you have behind you right now. Since the day, COVID hit and the injury, how was your support system like?
Well, the only sponsors I've really ever had were when I was living in Cancun, Grupo Mandala sponsored me. Surfing Burrito sponsored me. A couple local places out there sponsored me, but I've never really had any sponsors or like financial support from anyone. Precision Consulting, they sponsored me. And Talking Practice, those two were my largest sponsors that I've had, is Precision Consulting and Talking Practice. And that's it, everything's just been, I've always financed my own training, and I've always found my own motivation and my own grind, and I'm just thankful for the people who are there to follow me in my journey, like the family and the friends that I have, and people that, I actually have a pretty large following on Facebook, people that all over Mexico that I know and I've come across, and mostly I think other fighters that I bumped into along the journey. When I first got to Mexico, everybody hated me, but now like I would show up and they'd say my name and I'd get booed. But now when I show up and they say my name, people cheer for me, and I feel the support on Facebook and Instagram. People who just pop up out of nowhere. Hey, dude, I've been watching you fight for years. When are you going to fight again? Stuff like that, But I've never been the most popular person or anything like that as far as followers and support, sponsors and stuff like that, because nobody really knows who I am.
Well, if you would like to reach out to us on Facebook or whatever, I'd be glad to try to get you in touch with a couple of sponsors. Maybe see if we can get something going for you.
Yeah, that'd be cool, because I do got a fight, or I want to get a fight by the end of this year, and I'm already starting to train for that. So now would probably be a good time to start looking at some of those things. Definitely.
Because the more exposure you get out here, regardless of whether or not it's a W or an L, if you're getting good exposure and you're bringing in numbers, you're bringing in asses for seats, people are going to come and watch. People are going to come to watch with good performance.
I don't know if you've watched any of my fights, but I'm like the in between heavyweight and not a heavyweight. I'm like a light heavyweight, and I drop down to welterweight, or whatever 185 and 170 are.
I think that's super welterweight, isn't it? Super welterweight.
Yeah, I don't even know, but
super welterweight.
I think that's what they call it.
Super middleweight or super welterweight, something like that. I think.
Yeah, middleweight and welter.
Yeah.
Middleweight and maybe super welter. You're right.
Yeah.
But, they're explosive. If it's gonna be, I can have a stand up battle. I can go on the ground. We can scrap on the ground. But I'm never gonna go in there and lay down for anybody. I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna try to take your head off, just like you're gonna try to take mine off. I train with some of the best people in the world. I've trained with Jared Cannonier as one of his sparring partners. I train with Javier Torres on a regular basis. all those guys at the lab. I can go over there any Wednesday or Tuesday I want and get in rounds with them. I'm not saying that I'm going to whoop their ass, but I'm not saying that all of them are going to whoop my ass either.
Jared's a big
The thing about the lab is this: you will never leave there with a story. You might have put that dude in his place, but the next guy in the next round is about to put you in your place.
yeah. Round robin.
Yeah,
I totally get it, man. That is the way to train. You train round robin style. You win, you know what? You get a fresh body. Go ahead, beat him. Oh, you beat him? Go ahead. All right. Well, you know what? Well, here comes the purple belt. Go ahead. You beat him? Oh, wait. All right. Well, you know what? Here comes the second degree black belt. You better be ready to save your ass.
That's
you know?
right.
Like that's what it is. And I mean, that's how you get people. That's how you warm up. You start out. You're working with your blue belt, whatever, and then
I just recently got moved up to purple belt.
Then you're working with your purple browns, and then you're working with your black belts and your second and third degree stripes, your grandmaster dans and all that. I mean, I don't know if you guys have rolled with any grandmasters before, but it's fucking impossible.
It is. Javier Torres is a 4th degree black belt.
Yeah, well, that's one.
Yeah.
He's also like a 4th degree black belt in judo. He's also a hardcore wrestler. Like we got some good ground stuff. When I was over at the lab, Tonkino was doing some of the jiu-jitsu stuff with me. I think he's over there with Sugar now. I think that's his jiu-jitsu coach. I haven't been with Tonkino for a long time, but yeah, the cool thing about the way we train here at our gym and the way we're training over at the lab is you got 30 fighters, 50 fighters in a room, and you just going from one to one to one. So you get all the different looks, and nobody there has an ego. Everybody's there to help the next guy. So like when you get your look, you also get your advice behind it and stuff like that. I've never walked in there and seen Shug or seen Ben or any of these guys that are pro fighters, Jared, any of these guys have an ego. Like they will talk to an amateur, they'll spar an amateur. They're not stuck
and
up.
explain to them when they're getting hit. Explain to them, no, put your hand here and tuck in. Put your hand here and roll out. Put your hand here, lean back, step forward.
He's never been my head coach, but he's coached me when I've trained at his gym. Is John Crouch, and no matter from the very first day that I went in there, he knew my name, and he's always addressed me when he comes in. If he sees me, hey Mike, what's going on? If I'm training and I'm getting my ass whooped, hey, you got to pick up your hand, or you got to turn your hips over. You got like those guys over there at the lab. Every single one of them, stand-up guys. I love those guys.
Roll your shoulders.
Train more with them. We used to go over there every Wednesday and every Saturday. My whole team at UKF and train with them. We don't anymore, but yeah, those are some stand-up guys.
Definitely. I think Jeff's got a couple more questions. Jeff,
go for it, Jeff.
Well, I have one question left. What are the fans, your training partners, your coaches? What are we going to see from you in 2024?
What was that question again? What are you going to see?
What are the fans and coaches? What are we going to see from you in 2024? What do we expect from you in 2024?
Expect the unexpected. A lot of stuff's going to happen this year. I'm super motivated. I'm trying to get into really good shape. I got some goals, and I have all the resources I need to get where I want to be. I'm gonna get out there and do it. Put it this way, since January, not even in January, before then, Effie, we call him Effie, but it's Efrain Escudero. He told us in class, he's like, hey, bro, this is going to be my year, and it's not just going to be my year, it's going to be all of your year. So I challenge you guys to a 100-day challenge, set a goal, make it, get down to your goal, and then move forward. Well, my goal was to get to 205. I'm at 205. Now I want to set a goal to get to like 185. And I want to fight at 185, maybe fight at 170 before the end of the year. I want to do Jiu-Jitsu World League and maybe a couple different other Jiu-Jitsu tournaments. So yeah, I want to compete and get myself out there. I don't have what we would call an MMA career anymore, because I have been out. I'm no longer the number 4 guy in the Western region of the U.S. or the number 5 guy in Latin America. So if I want to get up there and I want to get like a Legacy Alliance fight, LFA or a PFL or something like that, I just got to get out there and take some names, man. I got to take some names and knock some heads off, and that's what I'm trying to do.
I know some people that run a show that they get a lot of people into LFA. So maybe if you're interested in that, maybe just hit me in the DMs.
Yeah. The good thing about Javi is he runs a management company. I ain't even going to say their name because I can't remember it right this second. But he's got plugs. He can get me into Combate Mundial. He can get me into LFA. He's got UFC plugs. So it's just a matter. And then I got all the guys at the lab. Like, I have the resources I need to get to the highest level if I can get myself to the highest level. And, I'm on Saturdays, I'll be going over there to spar with Jared and some of these other higher level guys at the lab. And if I take their name and put it on under my checklist back-to-back days, don't think that there's not somebody in the room that's watching, and John couldn't get me a fight if
Right.
So it's just a matter of how hard can I go? How good a shape can I get myself into? How much can I focus, and how much improvement can I make? I keep getting to that level and then getting injured, and I'm out for 2-3 years. And then I get to that level and then I get injured and I'm out for 2-3 years. Well, I don't think I have another injury in me. If I'm out again, I'm out for good. So I got to get myself in shape. I got to stay healthy, and I got to go over here and see where I fall amongst these guys that I'm training with that are at the highest level, and then get out there and put it in the cage, plain and simple.
Definitely. Well, sounds like we're going to have an exciting year upcoming from you.
Yes, sir.
That's right. So from Zach and me, we appreciate you taking your time, and know you've been busy with your schedule with full-time work and the kids. And hopefully we'll see you soon at the Combat Sports anywhere you go. And keep that training going, buddy. I'll be stopping by to see you soon. Just give me the address, pop into my message, and I'll come see you.
Yeah.
Definitely let us know. We'd love to have you
do that. Thanks for having me on here, guys. And once we get closer to these other fights and tournaments, maybe we can do it again.
For sure. We'd love to have you on, man.
All right, guys. I really appreciate you.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
All right, you're welcome, man. Thank you for being on Full Broadcast.
Yes, sir. Us.
All right. I appreciate him being on our show, and want to thank all the sponsors that were out there. D&D Custom Base, Twitches, Witches, Ditches. I want you to talk about your wife's, since you've been out for a little bit, talk about your wife's company and a little bit more what she does.
Custom designs, custom crocheted pieces, coats, cups, basically pretty much anything that you could come up with. Just hit the page up. She'd be glad to do something for you.
Yeah, and check this. Hang on for a second. And also D&D Custom Base. You catch fish anywhere in the world. It could be in a lake, pond, whatever. They have baits. Catch baits. Catch fish today.
They catch fish all over the United States. Hit Landon up from D&D Baits and catch more fish.
And also Churrolicious, Arizona. Check them out. They're local in Eloy, Castle Grande. They're Friday night at the Neon Sign Park, which I went the other night. And also Cafetito Banquet. You can't see it, but they make these nice, cool cups. I just got Red Bull. My son just got a Chucky, Jason, and all those famous characters on a cup. If you guys need anything, putting your families or anything on there, go check them out. Give them a like and a follow. And then we also have,
All right.
can you say it? Just
Thank
Blaze
you.
Clothing Company. They are sponsors from out in, I believe, Florida. Check out their website. They got some cool shirts, which I'll be getting here probably in about a week or so. We're going to start doing some prizes. Yeah, Just Blaze. Be the first on your block to get Just Blaze. And we're going to start doing next month. We're going to start doing prizes at the end of March, like the cups, the shirts, D&D baits.
Yep.
We're going to start doing raffles. We're going to start doing prizes. We still have to figure that out.
Stick around. There's much more coming, ladies and
up.
gentlemen.
And I
Thank you
appreciate
again,
that.
ladies and gentlemen.
Been sick for a while. Thank you for being
Appreciate
on my show,
your time,
buddy,
guys.
and helping me out. Don't forget to check our site out. Give us a like and follow on Fuller Broadcast Mania. Peace out from the Fuller Broadcast Show. Have a good day.
Peace.